Most people don't quit their fat loss journey when it's not working. They quit when it is working, but they can't see it. I'm going to show you a visual using some water, a cup, and some kids' toys that's going to change how you look at fat loss forever. I've coached over 200 people on their fat loss journey, and I've been through my own, and I know that the number one reason people give up is overthinking this one thing. This glass represents your body, the triangular toys inside represent your body fat, and the water represents your hydration. You get on the scales daily, you're currently 510 grams. You do everything right. You eat well, you walk, and you work out. You lose body fat. Step on the scale, 500.5 grams. Amazing. It's working. You're losing weight. You've lost 1 body fat, and you're down on the scale. That is what we love to see. So you keep going, you do everything right, you train, you get your steps in, you get your cardio in, you eat well, and you lose more body fat. Fantastic. But oftentimes what that comes with is an increase in water weight because your body has to recover from hard training. Maybe some of the food that you've been eating has been a little bit salty. These things are going to mean that you retain more water. So right now, you've actually lost more body fat, but the scale is actually up. This is where most people give up. This is what I mean when I say people think that it's not working, but it actually is. You're down in body fat, but you're just holding on to more water. And so the scale doesn't represent the true picture of what's going on. Before, the scale said 500 grams, yet you've lost fat, held onto some water, and it's 530 grams. Here's what you need to do. You need to just keep going. You need to keep up with everything that you've been doing because it's been working. You just can't see it yet. Over time, you'll lose more body fat. As the inflammation subsides and the recovery happens, you'll start to lose some of that water weight. Now you're down at 488 grams. Imagine if you'd given up at 530. You were just days away from hitting this new low, and you would have hit it if you'd have kept going. Other things to consider. Here comes your bloody wife. Why do you go to the gym so much? Why don't you spend some time with me? Take me out on a date. Stressed. What we got? 570 grams. Mental stress can impact the scale as well as physical stress. So you going to the gym and doing hard sessions and having to recover from it, and the mental stress of being an adult and have to deal with a boss who's a jerk and a partner who is lovely, bloody lovely. You get my point. As that subsides, boom, water weight gone, body fat down. Oops. Here's the other thing to consider. You've been absolutely smashing the back doors off the gym. Good for you. Due to that, you've gained some muscle. That is also going to stop you from seeing changes on the scales. If you're increasing your muscle mass and reducing your body fat, the scale might not change that much in a week or two. What you need to do is you need to stop looking into these day-to-day fluctuations and second guessing every single decision that you make and your progress. Stay the course and compare your week-to-week weight averages. So you should weigh yourself 5 to 7 days a week, and you should take a weekly average so you compare week-to-week averages and not get so focused on what the day-to-day fluctuation says. Because just like I've shown you, the scale does not represent what's really going on when you're looking at it day to day. More salty food, more stress, physical or mental, all of these things are going to increase water retention, and you can't see the fat loss that you've been making. No wonder people give up. If you're regularly weighing yourself on the scale, you're going to learn these fluctuations are normal, and you've just got to keep bloody going. You might even get to the point where you're like, oh, I had salty food tonight. Tomorrow when I wake up, I can expect the scale to be up. That's how dialed in you can get. A prime example of gaining muscle, losing body fat, but staying the same weight is my fat loss phase I did back end of 2023. As you can see by the graph here, for the first several weeks, I didn't really lose any weight. And the reason for that is I decided to do a fat loss phase and I was like, right, I'm gonna nail everything now. I'm gonna nail my steps. I'm gonna get back on top of tracking my workouts because I'd been kind of inconsistent before that. But now I had a clearly defined goal, my fat loss goal. I'm going to really go all in, back to training consistently. So I did that, and because I was going so hard, I was rebuilding some old muscle tissue that had been kind of sitting dormant because I'd been a lazy bastard. The result is the scale didn't change for the first 4 to 5 weeks. A little bit, but then it got to the point where I wasn't going to be building any more muscle in a deficit, and you can see after that, the scale just took a turn and started to go down and down and down. Of course, I was frustrated that the scale wasn't budging. Of course I was. But I have to remind myself that there's many more ways to track progress that's not the scale. Body measurements, progress pictures, and how your clothes fit can oftentimes be a better indicator of how your progress is going, especially in the initial stages of a fat loss phase. So now that you understand that, you can take some of the emotion out of those daily fluctuations and you can stay the course. Now, something that I want to talk about as well is realistic rates of fat loss. If you look at any Men's Health cover, you're going to look and see like someone lost 30 pounds in a month. It's just not realistic. A good rate of weight loss is between 0.5 to 1% of your total body weight on a weekly basis. So let's say you weigh 200 pounds. That's between 1 to 2 pounds per week on average. Some weeks may not be anything. You may even go up a little. Some weeks you might go down 3 pounds. Those averages are still going to include some water weight here and there, stress, and all those other things. If you're weighing yourself 5 to 7 days a week, comparing the week-to-week averages, over time, you should probably average between that 0.5 to 1% of your total body weight per week. That's why, as you progress into a fat loss phase, it might slow down a little bit because you are getting lighter, and that 0.5 to 1% is less each time. Realistically speaking, half a pound to 2 pounds is an incredible rate of fat loss, especially if you are trying to maintain, if not build, muscle alongside that. If you go way more than 1% per week, you're setting yourself up for failure because you're going to risk binge eating, not being able to train, having no energy, and the possible of bouncing back to your previous weight, maybe even more. So stop reading into this thing too much, and it'll be absolutely game-changing for your progress. If you want to get really dialed in with your fat loss and lose 20 to 30 pounds in the next 16 to 20 weeks, I've put together the perfect resource for you. It's called the Dadbod 2.0 Fat Loss Guide, and it is free. This is exactly what I followed to get into photo shoot shape, and this is exactly how I structure fat loss phases for my clients as well. In this guide, I've included for you how many calories that you should be eating so you can create a sustainable calorie deficit, so you can lose body fat while still building muscle in the gym, what macronutrient targets that you should aim for so you're properly fueled to train and able to recover as optimal as possible. I also include progress tracking sheets so you can track your progress like we talked about today, with daily weight measurements that automatically calculates the average, body measurements, and progress pictures, and all the training plans that you need to build muscle and lose body fat. It's free. Download it in the description, the Dadbod 2.0 Fat Loss Guide. It's the best fat loss guide on the bloody internet, mate. I'm biased, but it's bloody good. But remember, usually you're making progress. The scale just doesn't reflect it yet. Most of the time, people just need to keep going consistently. If over time you're not seeing the changes that you like, then you can look to make a change. But don't get caught up in the daily fluctuations of the scale because it derails so many people. And like I said before, most people don't quit when it's not working. They quit when it is working, but they can't see it yet. If you're interested to know how much cardio you should be doing for fat loss and what types of cardio you should be doing, then check out this video right here where I go into the detail of that exact topic. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what has stuck out to you that you're going to implement over the next few weeks, and I'll see you in the next video, you filthy maggot.